Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, December 5th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this would be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around. That's because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol SSNT. And nice move today, and we now have a very solid pattern. And these are always ideal because, and let me be very clear, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to imply that this is some sort of great discovery on my part. I assure you, a lot of people have drawn a trend line very similar to that. And there's probably drawing a trend line down here very similar to that right there. Let me change that to green to represent the support. And we have a couple of well-defined areas, and when you have those, and a lot of people are watching them. Whenever a lot of people are watching the same level, it's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. Call it whatever you want. It can produce some very dynamic movements. So while nothing is guaranteed, is it plausible? Is it valid that if the price curls back up, comes up to the top part of that pattern, and then breaks up through it, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is not a guarantee, but it's certainly a plausible outcome. And then just from a pattern standpoint, let's keep it all one color here to make it hopefully easier to see. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the huge move up right here. For you golfers, try to make it a little bit more visual. Have the golf hole down here, and this would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So if you like stocks in this price range, you like bull pennant patterns, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one here, BETS, and very, very nice mover. Did this one back on Friday. Talked about this bull pennant pattern, which we had right there, but got the very big break here. So definitely updates here need to be done. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these levels as they serve their purpose for now. And we have, once again, even if you want to just call it one of these self-fulfilling prophecy points, but right up here at that level where the price is currently knocking on the door. So as I speak, price is essentially right up that area. Market is open for another 13 minutes. So if you're watching this video and the price actually closes up above that trend line, then you get to ask yourself a different question. You would then be asking, okay, is this breakout the start of something bigger? Now, if the price ultimately closes down below there, it's a slightly different question. That question being, will it break out? And then if that question gets answered and the answer is yes, it will break out, then you'll move to the next question of, okay, so is this breakout the start of something even bigger? So like I said, however it closes, you now have kind of an angle of what sort of question to be asking. But regardless of the question, the point here is that this is all occurring within a high volume environment, good solid movement. So if you like penny stocks and like that sort of situation, certainly, you'd want to keep an eye on it. And then from a support standpoint, if you like to play more so pullbacks, interesting level down here would be that trend line at that area, give or take around that level. But like I said, as you can see now, there seems to be the price getting rejected from it, but market still doesn't close for another 12 minutes. So we'll see if the price can recover back up. But you can see as of now, and like I said, this is why I like to do these when the market's open. You can see it seemingly being rejected, but you'll have the rest of the story because by the time this goes on YouTube, you'll already know how this thing ultimately closed. But as of now, looking like a rejection. Next one, BITF, and I really like the fact that this one has got a good solid consolidation to it, and I should also take it, and there's also just a very nice trend. In fact, these are some annotations that I did previously. So keep that in mind from the bigger picture context. Nice upwards trend, but as I zoom back in here, yeah, there was a gap up this morning. Yeah, there's a very nasty pullback, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have traded long enough. But for those of you that have, I'm sure you've seen those circumstances where you get a gap up and the price pulls back, but the difference is it just keeps crashing. That was not the case here. Not only did the price finally level out, but the price has actually started to put in a bit of an uptrend here. So in the very near term, you can see the price has done a little bit better than sideways. It's slightly started to go back upwards, which does not guarantee that this pullback is over, but it certainly becomes a lot more plausible at this point in time. In terms of areas of resistance and the level to watch, if this thing is going to try to turn itself back around, seems to be a top part of a little consolidation period right here around the $1.81 mark. So keep an eye on $1.81. And if the price can get a good solid, solid high volume break of that level, will it shoot straight up to those highs right there? I'm not going to say that, but I do like the potential that could really come into play where it retest those highs, if not even go higher, because again, within the general context, that's what this thing has been doing. Breaking out of consolidations and then going and not only retesting highs, but pushing to new highs. But yeah, nice little consolidation. So we'll see if it can break through 181. Next one here, PLTR, a very, very brutal day. Not necessarily because it was such a red day, but just from a technical standpoint, to think that it was up here on Friday and then dropped all the way down to test the bottom part of this channel. And not only did it test it, it just crashed right out down through even that level right there. So this level is breaking through all kinds of key areas of support. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level as it served its purpose now. But the first key update is just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So moving forward, and I'll give some credit where credit's due. The last 30 minutes you can see right here, very, very solid final 30 minutes. But if this bounce continues, that'll be the next main question mark. Can the price not only get up to that 1895-ish area, but then be able to push through it? So keep an eye on that from a resistance standpoint. In terms of levels of support, as you're seeing here, I'm having to go back quite a bit of ways into the chart history here. But next key level of support would then be down here at the bottom of this basically little miniature range that formed right down there around the $18 mark. So you can see back here, this is basically the bottom part of this little sideways range down at, we'll just round it up and call it the $18 mark. So keep an eye on that if this current price level does decide to roll back over. Next one, AMC, and what a monster recovery. I mean, this thing's been all over the place. Just not that long ago, the price gapped up right here, made a big move up, and then went all the way back down to where it was. And now the price has not only recovered up to those highs right there, but you can see today has gone even higher than them. So, I mean, this thing is quite the turnaround here, and I'm sure if you're a bullish person on it, you're not complaining at all. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of both these levels now that I look at it a little closely. It seems like those ones are irrelevant. And the first level of support is now going to be based around the pink line right there, which is all about the rule that when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So very, very big accomplishment in terms of pushing above that 200 period moving average, and not just a question of if there are any sort of pullbacks. You want to see the price be able to stay above it, as that would definitely symbolize the biggest sign of strength moving forward. In terms of areas of resistance, let's see, there we go. That looks like a level right there. Okay, it's essentially right where the price is struggling, right there at $7.50. You can see back here, the price struggled around here a few times, and once again, that's where the price struggling. So that doesn't mean the price can't break through it. I'm just saying it makes sense why the price is currently stalling out right around there, and that moving forward, if the price is going to push up through there, then apparently, according to what the chart's telling us here, the bulls really need to bring their A game. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering later on here in the week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one here, MARA, and I should have put this one in a different location because I'm going to be repeating, but think back to BITF where I talked about that one that made a nice move, and then it started to pull back. But the nice thing about the pullback is not only did it level out, but it actually put in an uptrend. So hopefully that all sounds familiar, because that's exactly what we have here. Another case of essentially deja vu here. So you can see again, big move up, pull back, and now there's a nice little upward slope to it. And then we have on top of that just the breakout point of the resistance, the top part of this consolidation, which is right there around the $15 mark. So you can see here it's struggled a couple times there, and then last 30 minutes right there. But if there can be a high volume break of that level, as I've said, guaranteed, no, but is it valid? Is it plausible to think that the price could go up to those highs and break up through it? Absolutely, especially when you consider the bigger picture context that is showing this thing is in a very nice upwards trend and has quite the history right now of breaking out of consolidations and then putting in new highs. So overall, nice looking mover here, definitely a great looking trend. Next one, GMBL, and I'm doing this one for really two main reasons. The first main reason is just a ton of volume out there today, no doubt on it. Yeah, it's a penny stock, but still, even for a penny stock, good amount of volume. And the next part being, if you like to play potential double bottom patterns, then right down here at 0.017 is certainly very, very interesting. Nothing complicated behind this logic or anything other than simply the fact that the last time the price was down around here, a very nice bounce happened. Now, does that mean, and I wish I could say trading was this easy, does that mean that if the price goes down here, it'll for sure once again bounce the same amount? If only it were that easy. But it comes back to the, an idea of plausibility. Is it plausible that the price could bounce if it gets on there? Sure. I mean, it's done it before, and that's what a double bottom is based around, is the fact that it's happened before. So could it happen once again? No guarantees as always. That's why you got to have risk control and discipline. But if it does bounce, then, relative to what was being risked, you could be looking at some good solid upside reward. Next one here, ticker symbol TSLA Tesla. And this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched past videos, but if you have, then hopefully you remember me talking about that pink line there, the 200 period moving average. Back on Friday, did a good job of holding. And then once again, early this morning, holding. And now you can see right now, as I speak, market is open for another 3 minutes. but the price is essentially right at that level. So that's where the first big question mark comes into play headed into Tuesday. What exactly is going to happen at that level? Are the bears finally going to be able to push down through and create downside momentum, or is there going to be some sort of, bounce back off that level? And that'll definitely be a very interesting dynamic. In the event the price does push down through there, important level of support at that point would then be down there right around 232.25. If the price does get the bounce, and as I've talked about the past couple videos, nothing has changed here from a resistance standpoint. Still all about that purple line there, 50-period moving average. You can see when the price did drop below it right there, acted as resistance, 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 and resistance. Does not mean that level can't be broken, but does mean that the price is really going to need to bring its A game if the price is going to be able to push up through that level. So that's really what it's all about. First step, what's going to occur at that 200-period moving average. If it breaks down, then you have 232.25. If it bounces back up, then you have that 50-period moving average as resistance. Next one, ticker symbol ALT, and this one was looking very, very rough on Friday with the gap up and then a very big move downwards. Talked about that level right there as a potential area, but you can see it never quite got down there, turned around very nicely. I am still going to leave that level down there just because it's kind of an FYI, but a more near-term level of support now at this point is going to be like we just talked about, that the previous one, that level was an area of resistance. But in this situation, this would be an area of support. So like I said, overarching level still down there at the 340 mark, but in more of a near term because that is the 50-period moving average. So as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher and get more and more relevant. So that'll be the initial level, but if that doesn't hold up, next level will be at 340. In terms of levels of resistance, I think that the quickest way and easiest way to get this in play here, there we go, is going to be to just throw this trend line in place right there. Nothing complicated. You got to think a lot of people are watching that trend line. And as I've already said, when a lot of people are watching the same trend lines and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. If that level can be broken, then it's valid to think that could generate additional buying pressure. Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe the NASDAQ is going to rise, this one will also rise. And NASDAQ did have a pretty rough day today. So that's why this one looks pretty rough. But you got to give credit where credit's due. Considering where things were at the low and then where things ultimately closed, very, very solid bounce, which just leads into the next question heading to Tuesday. Is this the start of something bigger? Is there some genuine power behind this? And we're going to get some answers very quickly because there's a couple of big tests that are going to await the price on Tuesday. The first big test is that pink line right there, which you now know is the 200-period moving average. You can see right there, opening 30 minutes, it failed the test. Tried to get above there and then rolled right back over. But once again, it's within striking distance. But even if the price does push above that pink line, you don't want to get too excited because not that far away is the little brother of the 200-period moving average, that 50-period moving average right there, the purple line. So a couple of big tests here for any sort of continued bounce. If the price does roll back over, then really two main levels of support. The ideal level in terms of what would make the bounce still look the healthiest would be if the price can stay right there above 42.35. But in the event the price can't hold above there, then I'd say really the must-hold level would be down there at the 41.75 mark, just for the simple reasoning that if the price were to go down there and then break down through it, now all of a sudden you're at lows that have not been seen for a few weeks. And assuming you're bullish, that's not exactly what you want to see. But yes, definitely a nice bounce today. Is this the start of something bigger? Well, let's see if it can first off break above those areas of resistance. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to go get signed up for that free live class. It'll be later on this week, Thursday, December 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to make these, do a couple things for me. Hit that like button, leave a comment down below, say hi, tell me what you traded today, give me your watch list for tomorrow. But those two things really help out, and I thank you in advance for them. So like I said, hit the like button, leave a comment below, and go get signed up for that free class, and let me know if you have any questions down below.